She knocked on the door once. She never left.
Turn off the lights. Get comfortable. And whatever you do, don't answer the door tonight. Because this story starts with a knock. A simple knock. The kind you hear every day. The kind you never think twice about. But Sarah thought twice. And it didn't help her. It was November. The kind of November that gets dark at 4 p.m. and stays dark until you forget what sunlight looks like. Sarah lived alone in a 2-bedroom house on the edge of a small town. She liked it that way. Quiet neighbors, long driveway, no one dropping by unannounced. She had moved there after her divorce. A fresh start, she told herself. A place that was completely hers. She had been there 8 months, and in those 8 months, not a single problem. Until the night of November 14th. It was a Thursday. Sarah was on the couch with a cup of tea and a book she'd been meaning to finish for 3 weeks. Rain outside, heavy. The kind of rain that makes you grateful to be inside. At 9:47 p.m., someone knocked on her door. She wasn't expecting anyone. She looked up from her book, waited. Maybe she imagined it. Then it came again. 3 knocks. Slow, deliberate. She went to the door and looked through the peephole. A woman, mid-50s maybe, soaking wet. Dark coat, dark hair plastered to her face. Standing completely still. Sarah opened the door on the chain. "Can I help you?" The woman looked up. Her eyes were pale, almost colorless in the porch light. She said, "I am so sorry to bother you. My car broke down about a mile back. My phone is dead. Could I please use yours to call someone?" Sarah hesitated. She was a careful person. She didn't let strangers in. But it was raining hard. And the woman looked genuinely frightened. Not of Sarah, of something else. Like she was relieved to be at a door that had opened. Sarah let her in. She gave her a towel, offered her tea. The woman accepted both. She said her name was Helen. She sat at Sarah's kitchen table and made a phone call. Spoke quietly. Sarah tried not to listen. When Helen hung up, she said her son was coming. He'd be there in about an hour. "Is that all right?" she asked. "Could I wait here?" Sarah said yes, of course. They sat together at the kitchen table, made small talk. Helen was polite, soft-spoken. She asked Sarah how long she'd lived here, asked if she lived alone. Sarah answered. Looking back, she wished she hadn't. An hour passed. No son. Helen apologized. Said he must have gotten lost. Could she call again? Sarah handed her the phone. Another quiet call. Another hour. By midnight, Sarah was tired. She offered Helen the spare bedroom. Just for the night. Her son could come in the morning. Helen thanked her quietly. Sarah showed her the room. Clean sheets, extra blanket. Helen stood in the doorway and looked at the room for a long moment. Then she said, "This is a good house." Not, "Thank you," not, "This is lovely." Just, "This is a good house." Sarah said goodnight and went to bed. She lay there listening to the rain, and she felt fine. Everything was fine. She fell asleep. At 3 a.m. she woke up. No reason, just awake, eyes open, staring at the ceiling. The house was completely silent. She lay there for a few minutes. And then she noticed it. Her breath. She could see it. A faint mist in front of her face. In November, the heating in her house ran all night. The bedroom was always warm. She reached out and touched the radiator next to her bed. cold. Stone cold. She got up and checked the thermostat in the hallway. It read 68 degrees. But the house felt like something had left a window open. Or a door. She walked to the spare bedroom and listened. Silence. She went back to bed. Told herself the heating had just cut out. Old houses do that. She fell back asleep. In the morning, Helen was gone. The spare bedroom was empty. Bed neatly made. Towel folded on the chair, like she had never been there. Except the window was open. Wide open. In November. Sarah closed it and thought nothing more of it. Strange woman. Odd night. She made coffee and got on with her day. That was a Saturday. By Monday, the spare bedroom was cold. Not just cool, cold. The kind of cold you feel in your chest when you breathe. Sarah checked the radiator. Working fine. She moved a thermometer into the room. The rest of the house sat at 68 degrees. The spare bedroom read 51. Every day. She called a heating engineer. He spent an hour in the room, checked every pipe, every vent. Nothing wrong, he said. The heat is getting to this room, same as the others. Then why is it cold? She asked. He shrugged. Old houses, he said. Sometimes they just do that. He left. The room stayed cold. That was the first thing. The second thing happened on Wednesday. Sarah was walking past the spare bedroom and she stopped. She didn't know why. She just stopped. And she looked at the door. And she had the overwhelming feeling that someone was on the other side of it, standing there, waiting. She stood in the hallway for almost a minute. Then she opened the door. Empty room. Cold air hit her face. She closed the door. And she told herself she was being ridiculous. But she didn't walk past that room for the rest of the day without feeling it. That feeling. Someone on the other side. On Thursday night she heard footsteps. She was in bed, almost asleep. Footsteps in the hallway. Slow. Coming toward her room. Stopping outside her door. She sat up. Heart hammering. "Hello?" she called. Silence. She got up and opened her bedroom door. Empty hallway. But the spare bedroom door was open. She had closed it that morning. She was certain of it. She closed it again. Went back to bed.
I don't think she left.
Lay there with the light on until morning. She called her friend Claire the next day. Told her everything. The strange woman, the cold room, the footsteps. Claire was quiet for a moment. Then she said, "What did you say her name was?" "Helen," Sarah said. Another pause. "And she just knocked on your door, out of nowhere, on a rainy night?" "Yes," Sarah said. "And you let her in?" It wasn't a question. She seemed frightened, Sarah said. She needed help. Claire was quiet again. Then, did her son ever come? Sarah thought about it. "No," she said. "He never came." Claire came over that afternoon. She walked through the house. When she got to the spare bedroom, she stopped in the doorway. Didn't go in. Just stood there. "You feel that?" Sarah asked. Claire nodded. "How long has it been like this?" "Since she left," Sarah said. Claire turned to her. "I don't think she left," she said. Sarah didn't sleep that night. Or the next. On Sunday, she went to the local library. She didn't know what she was looking for exactly. She just started searching. Old newspapers, local records. She searched the address of her house, and she found something. An article from 1987. A woman had died in that house, in the spare bedroom. Her name was Helen Marsh. She had lived there alone for 20 years. She was found in November. The article said she had no family, no children, no son. Sarah sat in the library and read the article 3 times. Then she drove home. She sat in her car in the driveway for a long time, looking at the house, at the spare bedroom window. And she thought about what Helen had said when she stood in the doorway of that room. This is a good house. Not a stranger admiring someone else's home. Something else. Something that recognized it. Something that had come back to it and been let in. Sarah called a priest that week. He came. He walked through the house. He said prayers in every room. He spent a long time in the spare bedroom. When he came out, he looked tired. "Is it gone?" Sarah asked. He was quiet for a moment. Then he said, "The house feels quieter." Not, "Yes," not, "She's gone." Just, "The house feels quieter." Sarah thanked him and he left. That night, the spare bedroom was still cold. 51 degrees. Same as always. The footsteps came back 2 weeks later. Slow, down the hallway, stopping outside her door. Sarah lay in bed and listened. And this time she didn't call out. She didn't get up. She just pulled the covers up and closed her eyes. Because she had accepted something by then. Helen wasn't there to frighten her. Helen was just there. In the room she had lived in the house she had loved, going through the motions of a life she couldn't let go of. Sarah still lives there. The spare bedroom is still cold. She doesn't use it. She keeps the door closed. But sometimes, late at night, she hears it. The slow footsteps, the pause outside her door.
And she stopped being afraid. She just lies there and thinks. Some guests you can't ask to leave. Some guests were never really guests at all. They were home, and if you let them in, they know it. Sleep well tonight. And if someone knocks on your door in the rain, think carefully before you open it. Because some visitors bring gifts, and others bring a darkness that stays long after they should have gone. This has been Scary Ghost Stories to Tell in the Dark. If this story kept you up, leave a comment below. And subscribe, because the next story is darker than this one. Good night, or whatever's left of it.